So this is about Pilon fractures, decision making and execution. So Pilon is defined as injuries that involve the articular weight-bearing surface of the distal tibia. We all understand it. Comprises less than 1% of all the lower extremities fracture, and it is usually a high energy injury. Rudy and Elgover has classified it. OTA also has a classification. The difference is OTA has included the extra articular component as well. Well, while deciding about the management, there are too many things that you need to think about when it comes to Pilon fracture. Let's go through each of them and see. So the first is skin condition. Swelling will always be there. You have to manage it. You have to inspect it daily. Please keep a close watch for compartment syndrome and blisters. To avoid blisters, compartment syndrome, it is recommended to have a ankle spanning external fixator as a damage control orthopedic part. Whenever there is a bone spike poking under the skin, immediate gentle reduction of the fracture fragment tenting the skin helps prevent further damage of the skin. You should always, one should wait for a wrinkle sign, and whenever needed, involve a plastic surgeon early. About the distal neurovascular status, we have to watch the vascular status every time before and after any manipulation. Diabetes and smoking are two comorbidities that should always be looked for, as it can affect the wound healing. There are increased chances of infection, and there is a possibility of delayed union or non-union. The other injuries should not be missed in the initial assessment, as it can affect our planning, whether to do it as a single stage versus staged procedure. And the status of the fibula is something very important to look for. If it is intact, it works like a stabilizer. If it is fractured, it is the first that should be tackled. And if it is fractured in the syndesmotic region, care should be taken while operating that it should be noted and it should be fixed. Well, the fracture pattern tells us if it is an extra-articular, we can think of doing a tip-locking nail or a MIPPO. If there is a partial intra-articular, there is a possibility of MIPPO, ORIF, plus minus CC screws. If it is a complete intra-articular according to OTA, these are the options that are available. Investigations, usually what we do are these X-rays, AP, lateral, and mortise. A full-length tibia fibula should always be sorted, as it can help us to know whether there are any coexisting proximal fractures or any prior implants in the extremity. A CT scan is a must to understand the geometry and plan the surgery well. The three classical articular components that we should look for in the axial cuts are the anterolateral, medial, and the posterolateral. Their size and comminution varies. While thinking of execution, these are the approaches available that are anteromedial, anterolateral, posteromedial, posterolateral, direct anterior, and direct medial. If multiple incisions are needed, one should be careful that the gap between two incisions is always more than 6 to 7 centimeters. The treatment options that we just talked about are all available. Always try and get low profile plates to avoid stuffing. It is very important to time the surgery. It should be done before the swelling sets in, that is within few hours of the injury, or after the wrinkle sign is positive. A staged protocol involving initial external fixator followed by delayed definitive treatment has shown favorable results. The general sequence in treating these fractures include re-establishing the length, general axial alignment through fixation of the lateral column, followed by restoration of the articular surface, followed by filling of the metaphyseal defects, and then reattachment to the diaphysis. Fibular reduction functions to prevent valgus deformity of the ankle and aids in reduction of the tibial plafond. These are the cases that I would like to show. This is a 46-year-old male, history of road traffic accident, managed with anteromedial plate and a fibula fixed with open reduction and plating. Case 2, again, in this anterolateral plate with a fibula fixed with open reduction and a medial plate was used. This is something that we should all be aware of, that whenever there is a skin problem and it is not possible to operate, a staged surgery, like initially when the patient developed this injury, an external fixator was done in the first sitting, vascular status was seen and noted that because the pulses were feeble, the patient was observed. Once it was sure that the patient did not develop vascular insufficiency, Then the external fixator was removed, and in the second sitting, the patient was given a def fix was applied, and he was made to walk until the fracture united, and then it was removed at end of 6 months. So there are certain surgical tactics that we should all be remembering. We should mark all the incisions before starting the surgery so that we are sure that no two incisions are closer than 6 to 7 centimeters. The incision should be centered over the large fragments. When possible, choose MIPO, raise full thickness flaps, avoid stretching of the skin, do arthrotomy to visualize the articular surface, use low profile plates. Articular step should always be less than 2 millimeters, and keep a watch on tourniquet time. After doing all, there are still the complications which can be noted, like infection, stiffness, post-traumatic arthritis, painful plates and screws, wound healing problems, and neurovascular injury. Thank you.